I like that too.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
too. It was
That
good.
was a fun one. I don't like that one. I gotta change up some of Frank's stuff because I noticed like Frank is literally just like, what the fuck is going on here this whole time?
Panic mode. What is going on here? What the fuck is going on here?
What's going on here? Hey,
Constant confusion. But no, like I like that. Like he's like beyond the door is like it's all chaos, but like on the other side, he's just like trying to like get shit together with like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was going for with it.
yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
I have notes.
Yeah, I know.
Raise your hand.
Go for it. Come on,
Oh, wait. That's a lot.
Is
I have
this
to-
what you
I
guys
have
were
to, like,
doing
read it
the other
and
night with
annotate.
your board?
Which one? What's that, Kim?
Is that what you guys were talking about the other night when you were?
Yeah.
on
Yeah. We were talking about it.
That's cool.
That was fun.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
I think you need to tweak the dialogue a little bit. I think towards the end, because it's so frantic, they don't have enough time to explain, so it has to be a little more sporadic.
Well, I think that's the dramatic part of it though. That's like you slow down time kind of thing. And then it gives you a moment, it gives you more of that frenetic feel because it's like you want them to move but they're not moving. That's why it's such a long monologue ending that gives you like wraps up of his motives.
Yeah, I think like if I had read this before, like as I was reading this, this was at the bottom of my screen and I kept scrolling. I was like, oh shit, there's a lot. And I was like, oh no, this is like the ending monologue. So yeah, I think whoever is Oscar in the future would know to like slow it down a lot more.
Yeah.
Kind of raise the stakes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a fun one.
That's good.
The carry that weight also, Eric, do you remember that one? I have to rewrite that one. I was just reading it. I need to modify that one too, but that was the one with the cigarettes at the end with the doc.
I like both. I don't know. I mean, I think they're both good. This one is a little bit difficult because I'm trying to like make sure to say my lines when they come up, so I couldn't really like read the script. But I like them. I was actually waiting when they got to the bridge for Erica to jump.
Oh, cool.
Just because, like, that's I thought it was gonna become circular, and like that's where they met, and then like she jumps to like escape or something. That's
Right.
just a thought that popped into my head. But yeah, no, I liked it. I can't think of anything at this point. But I yeah, I need to read it. Okay.
Yeah.
I liked it. I was like, as I was reading ahead, and I was like getting super invested in the storyline.
Yeah, it was
good.
kind of cool just to figure out like what was gonna happen next because either I didn't know if like Oscar was gonna be able to go with Eric. Like you think that he
Yeah.
would be there.
Yeah.
Eric, I like your point, the jumping thing. I think, I mean, this is it deviates a little bit, but everybody's seen La La Land, right?
Yeah.
Remember at the end, they run forward really quickly, like an alternate reality.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think that'd be kind of cool to do. Like, at the moment she's about to jump, you could run like a quick fast forward alternate reality. But then, like, at that moment she's about to jump, Oscar says something. So it's just like, that's the actual reality. So it's like this linear movement, but then it jumps back, and then it's the actual movement.
Okay.
Or no, it could just be something of just like her like looking like her in the boat by herself, and it's like her flashbacking to them
Yeah.
at the bridge and her like wanting to jump instead. So it's just like
That's good.
maybe it's her sacrificing herself for him, then he's sacrificing himself for her.
What if she's like at the edge of the boat towards the back? She has the same motion as if she was to jump to save him, right? As she was to jump off the bridge. So she's like leaning at the end, like about ready to jump. So it's
That's
that
more
like
Inception. That sounds so Inception-y though.
yeah, but you're playing with timelines. So, like you're
I know
calling it back.
it sounds so Inception-y though. Just because like I want the feeling of in the beginning when you first meet Erica, she's by herself on the bridge about to do this act. Now she's again alone by herself. Yeah, she still has these like urges probably, but like you don't know where she's gonna go. She has a hope of somewhere that's safe, but at the end of the day, you really don't know what she's gonna do.
Well, so I mean, so clarify for me. The syndicate at the end, they're after Oscar, right? They think Oscar's the one that killed or stabbed the syndicate member, right? Not Erica.
See, that's what you need to fix, Nolan, based off what we talked about. Because like I didn't get that either.
Yeah. Who were they after, really?
Uh, I mean, I think it's that you know that the syndicate it's Oscar, but we all know that it's Erica. So there's that like sacrifice that
Like,
just
Like-
doing it.
Oscar's trying to save Erica, but they're actually after Oscar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Because I thought because you know how like the syndicates are the ones that bring in the girls or whatever. I thought it was the opposite. But
Well, I mean, it could be both, right? Like they could be going after both of them, and like her leaving is just like I don't know. I had it, but I forgot what I was gonna say. Like why? How do I say it? It'll come back to me.
I know it sounds vulgar, but I really enjoyed that.
The cocktail and clams.
Well, I thought that was good, but more so, maybe I'll open
your experience,
It's
like,
like, damn.
Yeah, yeah,
clever.
Oh yeah, I read it. I was like, ooh, how am I gonna say? I was like, okay, I'm gonna just say it.
yeah, yeah. That's so crude, huh? And so lewd.
Yeah, but it was good.
That's
No, it was-
good. though.
yeah, I like that.
It
It-
fits like the character. Yeah.
It
I
fits
think
that, like, that scene too.
one of my favorite lines is just a handful of oysters. I really like that line.
Wait, which one?
All I found was just a
Oh,
handful
yeah.
of oysters.
A handful of oysters.
Yeah, I was like, dang,
I
that's
was like, when I wrote it, I was like, ooh.
I think you need to say what seemed to be a handful of oysters because it can't just be like, oh, a handful of oysters. What seemed to be a handful of oysters?
No, he knows what an oyster is, though.
Yeah, but like when I hear like, oh, it was a handful of oysters, I envision like a hand of oysters, like hands with like that,
Okay.
like like the amount that would seem to be a handful of oysters.
Oh, okay. I was getting a totally different. I mean, I was reading it during that time, but I was getting the impression that Oysterman became Oysterman because of that. Like,
I
It could work both ways.
yeah,
feel like
Yeah,
it's his like connection to still
His
be with
daughter.
his daughter.
yeah. I mean, I wrote it that way where it's kind of open-ended how you interpret that. Like, is it like, was it because of that, or was it like that he's been doing that with his daughter the whole time, and he knows his daughter likes a handful of oysters, so it's just like that's the trademark that he recognizes. He would just go out with her to get oysters, and she would just get a handful because she loved it so much.
Oh wait, I forgot it that they were her. Oh yeah.
Does a handful of oysters make sense though? Like a handful of oysters is like what, 4 oysters?
I don't know. That sounds cool. I just like the way it sounds.
yeah. It's like one of like when people quote books. It's like one of those quotes.
I like the visual of it because it sounds like you have a little girl with just like, and she got swept away by the water, and all that was left was just a handful. But like nobody would realize that. Anybody else would never realize that that's anything. Only he would think that that would be the case. Like, oh, these oysters, they're not normally from here, but they're just here. And who's the one that always has a handful? Like, you do like a flashback of her. It's him and her on the beach, and she has a handful of oysters with her.
Yeah, but for a little girl, a handful of oysters is probably what, like 2 or 3.
One.
Semantics. Semantics.
I would say like a grip of oysters or like
A bucket full of oysters, like a
bucket of
bucket of oysters falling off. An orange,
yeah, like a bucket of oysters, something like that. Like it has to like
like a pail of oysters, like a bucket full of plate of oysters. Yeah, I mean something like that.
or make up your own little like vernacular, like
Scruple of oysters.
Okay.
an oyster's dozen or something like that, or like something like you could come up with your
A
own.
rock full of oysters. Pebblestone. Oysters.
Yeah, pocket full of oysters.
Bucket full of sunshine.
Right.
I liked it. That's cool. I've never read like scripts like that since like I think like elementary school.
I felt like I was reading the Stations of the Cross.
I felt that too.
Yeah.
I felt the same too.
Like I was pilot then, man. Fuck.
I know. I felt that. I had that whole cadence with it too.
Very biblical.
Yeah.
Actually, knows when I'm rereading this monologue part, I do like that part.
Where he's
like- Fuck yeah, like he doesn't find anything.
Yeah.
mhm.
I mean, it may not even be his daughter. Like those handful of oyster may not even be his daughters. This could be rocks or just things. Like he puts that impression onto it, saying that's how he has to make up his mind about what happened to his daughter because her running away doesn't make sense to him.
So I think like I get the dialogue part, that big monologue, but then you got to think of it in terms of, unless you're gonna like cut to like an internal monologue. But if you're talking about it in like a sequence, you need to make it as if he's kind of like more so out of breath. So it has to be a little more like, like spread out a little bit. Like you remind me of her, Morgan. Blah blah blah. Like it has
Well,
to
no,
be
yeah,
like very in the breath.
that would be an actor's choice of how they
Right.
to like give the rhythm of how they're gonna say it. And it's definitely to slow her down. I mean that's kind of where it's supposed to be too.
Yeah. I mean, as the one reading it, I would agree with Wes. I don't typically know how scripts are really written, right? So I don't know if you should intentionally add the pauses into the monologue or not. But like at least for me, that it would have helped to.
Well,
I think like you should definitely convey the cadence that.
Yeah, agreed. Especially like for amateur like actors and stuff, so they kind of get more of like what they need to do. Like if you open it up for interpretation, unless you give them like, I mean, if they're good and they know how to like work the scene, okay. But I think when you're working with like amateurs who aren't necessarily seasoned, I think it's giving them the direction in like the script would actually help a little more.
yeah, I could do that. That wouldn't be too hard. I just a little bit. It's not too bad.
I mean, but to your point though, Knowles, like, it like I mentioned, it was the first read, right? So like you, in successive reads, what's coming, so you kind of would anticipate a certain type of delivery. So I understand that, but I think if it were me, I don't know, I would kind of build that in there already.
Yeah, I think that'd be better to do.
Agreed.
Also, it's cool. I was thinking about Carry the Weight and Oysters because Carry That Weight ends in the dock and like in the sunset time. So it'd be kind of cool if I could shoot the same. Like it would be a transition from the dock to the beach at a nighttime. Then it's like Carry the Weight to Oysters, like two bookends of the same world. So it's in the same beach that the guy dies. So the body could be the main character from Carry That Weight is the beginning of Oysters because there's a body that washes ashore.
The end of Oysters
No, the end of Carry That Weight
is the end of Oysters.
is the beginning of Oysters. because at the end of Carry That Weight, remember he kills the guy with the cigarette. Spoiler alert! Carries the guy with the cigarette on the pier. Like
Yeah.
how it ends, and then
Yeah.
the beginning of Oysters is Oscar coming to a beach and he finds a dead body on shore.
Oh, right,
And
right.
that dead body could be the main guy from Carry That Weight. And it ends on a beach too. Like it ends in a dock, but like a beach dock. So that'd be kind of a cool little like two storyer in a little connection.
Nolan, here's an alternate. This is what I was thinking when I kind of put those connections together. So at the end of Carry That Weight, he throws the body into the ground, right? Or into the ocean, right? And then I don't know, I kind of forgot like the specifics of Carry That Weight, but what if the cleaner, like he lights a cigarette and it's just him, like it's his face, and then he lights it and he's just looking out into the horizon, and then the simple like expression that he makes is like he's trying to see if he sees something into the ocean, and it's the boat coming to him. That's her in the boat, essentially.
Not Erica. No, it would be Oscar coming in on shore to bring the oysters to the oyster bar.
But it's like
I wanted that transition where it's like you start at the dock and then you pan over and it's like a time lapse where it's like nice sunset and it goes into a really like gloomy, cloudy beach, and then it's like the boat comes in and it's Oscar on the boat. And
then you do a director's cut. The cleaner comes out and he pulls the rope to like dock the boat or something like that.
2 minutes of that. We should read. The other three don't know. We should read. Carry That.
Let's read Carry That Weight.
because nobody knows what that one's. They don't know nobody has that one yet. I need to rewrite this one though.
You need an object in all of your movies that's similar. It's just like an Easter egg that you find in every single thing.
I do agree with, I don't remember if it was Wes or Teak that said it, but I do think you could play with Frank's character a bit more.
Yeah.
More. Like, there was nothing bad, but like, I feel like there's just room. Like, there's room to make him a little bit more dynamic.
What the problem with is he's very one note. Most of his lines are literally just, what's this? What's going on? There's no growth with him. Like what you see with the other characters.
He's a device though. He doesn't specifically need growth. He's just a device to get things moving.
Yeah, that's what I use them for. But yeah, I can try to make him a little bit more.
I think you could give him like a charisma about him, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, also like the guy that I wrote for Pickpocket, Kenny, like that was a very wooden character, but like the actor that brought out on it was super good.
Was that the good actor? I forget.
The good guy, the blonde one. Yeah, he was really good.
Awesome. He was awesome.
Like when I was reading it, like the first like few lines, like I didn't know, just because I didn't read it beforehand, like I didn't know how to portray it first, like how to go with it and
Right, who's playing music?
Wait, time out.
Who's playing music? Who's playing music?
Sorry, I'm preparing for my field trip tomorrow.
Right.
I apologize.
Rewind, Josh. I want to know what you have to say.
Well, no, like I didn't know how to like put it out. But like in the beginning, like I was picturing like this like brawny dude who was like super cool, not cool, but just like I don't know, like boss man, right? Then when like actually got to like the frantic moments, he just seemed like a muddle of nerves. Like, like he was just like trying to like handle the situation that was going on back here at the same time cater to the other dudes. I mean, like I think that just has to go along with like what Eric was saying, like and Wes having like things within the dialogue to kind of like, I mean, I don't you know.
No, I get you, Josh. Like you need cues in the dialogue to kind of get their like personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to look at them.
I think Nolan, what you should do is not necessarily give them a backstory, but you need to like. I think an exercise Nolan and I did when we were talking about it over the weekend is like we associated characters with people that we kind of knew, right? So like I assume Josh, maybe I don't know. I think everybody might see it. Like, has anyone seen Samurai Champloo? I'm sure everybody's seen Samurai Champloo. Like, to me, I could picture Erica as the food character. Like, that's kind of her, right? And then the syndicate members as like the just the guys from Kung Fu Hustle. You know, like the suits and just like very like pretentious type guys. Like, so you got to kind of figure that out. So Nolan, if you could give them that association, they could kind of understand. Like there needs to be some kind of association so they could kind of understand the mentality of how each character acts.
Was this another Samurai Shampoo episode?
Yeah.
I kept when we were reading, I was like, oh, which one is this? I had that vibe.
Mm.
Is it when Jin is saving the?
Yeah.
Okay. I like the take though that like Oscar is this old guy, or just like at least that's what Wes mentioned in the beginning, like someone that's kind of run down.
Yeah.
Like it's different than Jin. Jin's like, like crime or whatever. This guy's kind of just like he knows, he doesn't bother with that shit. But yeah, like it's just a different take, so I enjoyed that.
Yeah. I like this one.
It's good dialogue. I think getting people's perspective when they first read it and seeing how each character is without knowing their backstory, I think it gives them good insight. So you could kind of hone in on their dialogue better. Like the goal is to have dialogue to where people who read it for the first time could understand who that character is.
Yeah. That's what I noticed. I noticed that the Frank started off really well, and then his lines just became very mundane. So I need to change that up. Give him more. Or give him something.
I mean, I think when those Frank lines later in the script are happening, Russ was right. Like it really just is like a way to move the story forward a little bit. To kind of jump from like action point to action point, where like Erica and Oscar are like trying to find a way, to make it.
The reason why I had it like that was literally because I didn't want Oscar and Erica to have a full conversation until the very end.
Which makes sense. It breaks it up. I mean,
Like if they were able to have a full conversation, then you would get the whole spiel of it all the way through in the beginning, and then you wouldn't have that kind of mystery of what Oscar, why he's doing what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I kind of had it. That's why he was literally just a device. But I mean, he's also a character too, so I could make that device a little bit maybe more fleshed out.
Oh, that's a good point. I like that. Yeah, I didn't think about that during the read, but yeah, that is what happened.
Yeah.
And then me and Wesley were discussing over the bow and the knife. Did anybody catch like the symbolism with the knife, which is really cool?
I kept trying to think of the M. Oh, Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ended up being like he said the name, and then the M makes sense.
So it was her knife, and he put the knife in his chest, so it's near and dear to his heart. So the knife was in his chest pocket. I'm gonna have it there, and she stabs him in the chest. It's gonna get member in the chest. The boat also has an M on it, so it's just like he's finally really releasing from the guilt that he had with Morgan, but with Erica, that the boat is Morgan, so he's kind of taking Erica away from the darkness out of the place. So that was something that me and Wesley were talking about. We're like, oh yeah, we need the boat, we need the M, we need that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's good because he couldn't save Morgan, but he saves Erica, right?
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Okay.
I think Nolan, like how we discussed before, how in the beginning you need to pay off the beginning a little bit. And like how you could do that is like, because remember when he's like Morgan, like his like words is like Morgan or whatever. So you could bring that back to the monologue at the very end, where he's like, "You remind me of her, my daughter," and then he could either go through the monologue or she could interrupt and say, "Morgan," as if like she remembers what he said to her that day. Because
I don't think he heard. I don't think she heard him. I think that she's so into her mind in the beginning that she didn't really. He's not really saying it to her. He's saying it to himself to remind himself, like, if I ever went to an opportunity to see somebody go through this, I would help them.
But like that,
Make his
to,
decision.
to me, that establishes the connection. Like they were never anything, but her connection to him is that she did at that very one vulnerable moment in her life, she like remembered just that one word. Like it just came back there. She didn't think she remembered it, but it came back to her. And then that's their connection. That solidifies their connection.
But she never heard him say Morgan. Like the reason why I have them stop on the bridge, it's because it's like the first time they met. That gives her pause, like the trauma of like, why did this guy say this thing to me? So I think that gives her like the reason why she wants to stop at the bridge and question his motives.
So she heard something, but it was
I
decipherable.
don't,
Is how
I
you're
don't,
gonna
I
bring
don't
it.
think she no, I don't think she heard him say Morgan because when I wrote it, it was more like she like even the presence of a person was kind of traumatizing for her. She wanted to be a ghost. Like she just froze up, and when she got a little eye contact and saw that he was staring at her, she she didn't even she just didn't want to be there.
Well, I mean, if she was so into her head, I feel like she wouldn't notice anything unless there was a verbal cue or like he was in her direct sight. You know what I mean? Like there needs to be a cue at
Well,
least
the
to
cue would
like differentiate him from everybody else passing by.
no, but it's like it's so late at night or so early in the morning that you're not expecting anybody to pass by.
So he's literally the one person that just
Yeah,
passed.
there's only one person that passes by, and like the cue could be like the sound of his foot, his wooden slippers, clop, clop,
Well,
clop.
she would hear that though.
Yeah,
She would hear that before.
he would hear that, but then when he stops to say Morgan, that forces her to like, wait, did he already cross the bridge? Let me check if he's across the bridge yet. No, he's only like halfway through, and that's when they give the double take and the eye look, but she shies away because she thinks that he's already gone, but they eye contact each other, and she looks away because she's scared because she still wants to be alone, and then he continues, and then he makes the decision of like, let me tell this girl what I know about this place and what's going on here, and then he just leaves.
I want to hear other opinions.
Question. Wait, why does he think of Morgan when he passes by her? Maybe this is what you guys are talking about, but I'm a little bit confused about that. I'm looking back and I don't know why he thinks of Morgan when he locks eyes with Erica.
In the
Right.
I think I had it in my mind is that how Morgan actually dies is that she jumps from the bridge, and that's what he assumes that
so he associates
Oh.
he associ yeah he
her
associates
jumping off the bridge because that's what
he thinks that yeah
that's what he's been holding on to.
yeah
Okay, I also know this is like a stickler thing for someone that was reading the part of Oscar, but when he says to himself Morgan, I'm not sure if there was supposed to be a question mark. So when I read that, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be like Morgan or Morgan. Like,
you know what's funny on my final draft I because you could like change your dialogue like different takes of dialogue. I have one that's literally dot 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 Morgan, and then the other one is dot 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 Morgan. So I didn't know which one to pick. I
I
just
like the question better. I think Eric, the way you interpret it was the right way.
oh yeah, I interpret it as a question.
yeah, that's how I have it.
A part of me wonders if it's better to not even say that, and like when you're filming it or in the short, like it's a flash of like him looking at oysters in his hand, and it's just I don't know why that imagery popped into my head, but like that's because that's Morgan in a sense. So instead of him saying that, the image or thought.
Of like looking down at the oysters.
That's an idea that popped
I
up.
mean, the way I had him, like I was envisioning him having the oysters was like, like bucket on two sides, and he's like buckets of oysters on his side, and he's balancing it on his back, kind of thing. I don't know why that's the vision I had. So it's kind of more like a labor kind of thing. Like he's like walking, trudging along with the oysters on his back. I thought that would have been a kind of a cool look for him too.
And an oyster can fall out of the bucket and kind of like stumble and hit her on the foot, and then they like see each other, and it's just like, oh shit, oyster, her, oh fuck, Morgan.
Ooh, Eric, that's kind of a cool thing. Yeah, I mean, it's all obviously an alternate angle, but like an oyster falls out, kind of stumbles to her, like she reaches out, and then like he's not paying attention at all, right?
Yeah.
And then like she hands it to him. All he sees is a hand with that oyster, and then he's like grabbing it from her, looks up at her eyes, and it's like shocked because she looks so much like his daughter.
Yeah.
Or it's like, oh shit, wait, what? Like that's his initial reaction.
Yeah.
I like that. That's an interesting thing.
To me, that would solidify the connection a little bit more. I don't know what Morgan looks like. I don't know what Erica looks like, but like that's at least like more of a straight line in a sense. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that because it's like if she's so deep in her thought, like there are a few things that could kind of take her out of that thought. Right? Like,
sure, yeah.
Like my example was like just a visual or audible cue from him saying Morgan, so he sees it. I think your version, which is very valid, is something hits her, like physically hits her, where she kind of jolts out of this like trance in her head, like she's just like, she's a decent person. So she just, instinctually just picks it up to give it to the guy,
it
I don't
almost,
want them interacting though. Their interaction in the beginning has to be awkward to say the least.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, but it doesn't like they don't have to ever say anything.
No,
like,
but I like even the fact that she'll pick up something for him, that's what I don't want. Because at that moment in time, she's very selfish in the sense of like she doesn't want anybody to be around her. That's kind of where I was going with her.
She doesn't want anything to be around her. But if it's someone physically if you're like deep in thought, right, and someone physically touches you, you're gonna.
No, that's the thing though. He's not gonna touch her though.
No, but the oyster touches her, is what Eric said.
Yeah, there could be something where it's just like the oyster touches her, but there's actually no connection to her. Like it's maybe mismatched timing where like he sees it, hits her, he thinks of Morgan, she picks it up in a sense, and no. I don't know. I see what you're saying though, Knowles. Like you still want that disassociation where their first connection is meeting back at the bar or
yeah. The first impression is very bad. Like I want you to like
You don't think the whole time at the oyster bar that Oscar and Eric are in like that's enough time for Oscar to make that connection? You know what I mean? Is that like what you guys were trying to establish? Like where the connection comes from? Like in the beginning?
For me, I'm looking back at the first page or first or second page of the script, and I'm for me personally, I'm wondering why he thinks of Morgan when he sees Erica on the bridge, and I think I'm trying to just piece or find a more like straight line connection.
Yeah.
But that's also because I don't know what Erica looks like or Morgan looks like, right? Sure. So like, but I don't, as a viewer, I don't have to. Oysterman knows that they look like each other.
Right. All that can be revealed,
Sure. Yeah.
I like that kind of visual. And again, this is gonna get a little too technical, but like Eric, to your point, like what again technical, but what if it's like this casted silhouette, right? Where like the camera is of her, of him looking up to her as like she picks up the oyster, and it's just the silhouette. So the silhouette could look like Morgan, but
Yeah,
it's
but here's the thing though, that you don't. That means you would have to establish what Morgan looks like beforehand. That's
no,
something
you
you
don't
know.
because no, because by Oscar saying Morgan, it's like that's his association. That's all you need as the association.
Yeah, but
You don't
at
need to
first,
know in the beginning. All you need to know is that the association happens in the end. That's all you need to know.
no, we'll see. Like the full association of it is that he calls her Morgan. Like, so you automatically think that this person's name is Morgan.
No, you don't because yeah, but like but yeah, but that's it keeps it like this like sense of urgency and mystery because like the fact that her reaction to it is like no, like she doesn't have to say anything. Her reaction is like no, right? Then you could establish that she is not her, right? So in her mind, this is just like one of those just random chance encounters, and she could block it off after 30 seconds. In his mind, it was one of this like, oh my god, I had the sense of hope, but it died, so I'm gonna get back to my normal routine.
Or is she really Morgan, just 7 years removed, and he didn't know what his daughter looked like, and he just saved her?
But he never mentioned her name.
Yeah, her name was never mentioned. Erica's name was never mentioned. I just noticed that. I never say her name in the whole thing.
So Erica, yeah.
On purpose.
Nah, it was on purpose.
And in the Google searches,
Or falls. Hits Erica on the foot.
Falls.
Well, no, I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna
falls
say
off the bridge. Or she kicks it off the bridge.
well, what I was gonna say is she's completely unfazed because she's just not paying attention to any of that shit, right? Like that's what we want. You said she's selfish, right? So even something physical hitting her, she's just so focused on potentially killing herself or whatever. He picks it up. He gets a flash of oysters in his hand, which is the tie to Morgan, and then notices she's potentially gonna jump or whatever. And then like he says his offhand comment to which she doesn't respond, puts the oyster back in the bucket and then trudges along some more. So there's a connection without them actually
Talking.
connecting.
I like, okay, modify that. It would be he's trudging along, a little handful of oysters fall next to her. He's unfazed. He waits, thinking that she's gonna pick it up. And then he gets when he looks down at the oysters, he gets a flashback of the oysters in the beach that he found the first time. And then he says if you jump, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going on the board.
I like that. Hey. Yeah.
I love this critical thinking.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I don't know, Knowles. I hope it's okay and it's it's construct. I hope you feel like it's constructive, not.
Oh no, it is. It's yeah. And I'm already past the phase of just like this is my precious baby. Nobody could change it. No, I'm already just like, all right. I'm ready for like I put all that I can in it. I need feedback from people, get their thoughts on what it is, and like it's just gonna have that back and forth about like, all right, maybe this works. Oh, but what if we add this? No, this is what the character is really about. Okay, bring it back down and building up there.
Eric, FYI, this is like the type of meeting. This is like my favorite type of meeting. Like when like I work through campaigns and shit, like for like work. I love it when there's like this like back and forth and different opinions and shit, like going in and like adding on. Oh, that's my favorite type of thing.
Yeah, dude. All right, I need to. You and I need to talk sometime because I have an idea for something.
Let me know.
You like some of these. I don't know if you guys are reading. If you could read some of these ideas.
I can't. I've been trying to read it.
I feel like this one: Vikings versus violins. That's one. I don't know why. I just said that one time. It's like Vikings versus violins.
I got one too that's similar to that, Nolan.
But
The stubborn samurai.
can I write that down?
Because
I like samurais.
Can
Huh? Because samurais are so disciplined, right? They have this like world view. A stubborn samurai, it literally is like a contrast of each other.
You know what you know what I want Vikings versus violins to be? I literally want it to be just like in a black room with like spotlights of just a violin, and then a Viking comes in and then tries to smash the violin. That's all it is. And then there's gonna be like commentaries like, "Oh, here comes the Stratus versus the Viking. Oh, he has a nice live 12-inch axe." And there he goes, he smashes it. And then you're like, the goal is he has to break all the strings of the violin, and if he doesn't break it, the violin wins. So that was my violins versus Vikings idea.
That's funny.
What other ones? Carpets. My next short is gonna have something to do with carpets.
Carpet.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with carpets right now.
Like your vision board, man.
I know. This is just the idea board. This is the
Yeah. Throw shit against the wall, see what sticks.
yeah, literally. Yeah.
I like it.
You should call your carpet. You should do your carpet thing as like an Arabian carpet salesman, or like Silk Road.
One of my favorite carpet scenes is in Inception where Saito is on the floor. The carpet is when he's feeling the carpet. I want one of those scenes.
Like that snaps him back, like
Yeah, because he's like, oh, the feel of this. I like this place because of I don't know.
texture. Play with that.
Yeah. It's gonna be next time you read another short of mine. There's gonna be one of those scenes of just a guy like on the like feeling the carpets on the floor or something like that.
I'm gonna be that guy. Make me that guy.
Oh no, actually, I might do that with carry that way because I know I could do some carpet stuff. I could put the body in the carpet.
Ooh. Object that carries over.
Yeah. Okay, I need to add that one. That'd be an interesting one.
All right,
You just sent your other
Oh yeah, I sent the other one.
Okay.
If you guys want to read it or not.
For me, maybe another time. I might
Oh, it's late. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we can save it. We will save it for another one. That'll be another something to do.
Yeah, I'm you know, this was fun. I'm down to script read.
So macabre.
Disappointed, Josh. It's not the
In
same
what?
ending as last time.
Same ending.
Yeah, you were
Josh was boisterous.
a little more enthusiastic the last time.
Because we didn't push alcohols.
Much about the last time. Other than that, I bailed.
It was not on Zoom.
Oh, this is recording still. Shoot, let me end this one.
No, you needed all that critique.
That's true.
No. I wanted the critique. I wanted to kill this part of it because we're off that already.